Interdimensional light signals, rotation, position, locations, high force and line conditions. You have to truly understand how the sun works and all of system to the clocking condition, has its time zones, has its frequency, has its coloration, has its pattern, has its interference. The colorations in the timeline center to the ground system has to truly understand you through program position locations because that's how it works, the program line interference, right? The patterns have to understand you to the sun and everything through the programs of the moon. It's all a keyboard line center. It's like piano. It's like playing the piano. It's music, right? So you're playing the tune of the sun through location, through your thought patterns. It's really interesting to come across these things and locations. So basically, hopefully everybody's doing well. I'm sending on right now connections because I'm having I'm having people come over and they're doing construction. So there's going to be a lot of banging. So basically, I just want to go through the afterlife, what happens through position light conditions. Here's a picture of me traveling into space where I'm going to separation. So it's really interesting how we come across these things through line conditions. So what we're going to do today is we're going to travel into space. You're going to see the afterlife. You're actually going to see what it's like to not have a body. To understand the particle light system and positions to the sun and track system to the moon program line conditions, this is where it interchanges position to its line conditions, all right? So when you see this picture, you're going to see me changing to its afterlife position. You see the structure, you see the hair, you see the body, you see everything through structure before I surrendered. And then you see the eye circles open up through the Gaussian line system to its locations, all right? Okay, do you see it? You see it? You see the face? See the nose? That is me 3 years ago. 3 years ago. You see? That's me separating into space. That's me surrendering. All particle lights going through all level positions, coming into the plasma interference, afterlife, coming into the soul. That's what the soul is. Changing particle light interference locations, center line system locations. See that? See the hair? See the nose? That's me, right? So to understand what happens to you when you see these things through practical lights, it's extremely powerful when you come in these position light conditions. All right. It's absolutely fantastic when you start to surrender to everything through activation. Your correlation line centers change, your ground formations, you come in your particle lights, you go through your life stream, you go through your cycles, you go through all of those of your metric line conditions, you go through acceleration patterns, you go through your programs, you go through interference, you go through interlacing, interlocking into the metric line system. First thing you do when you cross over the afterlife is you get friendship, relation, partnership with your soul, which is very powerful. Okay, and then you get the connections of high force line centers to all travel positions. So it's kind of like integrating line conditions. Now let's not get confused here. People are asking me questions about the soul. I said, well, if the soul is separated, where is it? Well, see, the thing is, you have to truly understand you have to be in the grounds first of the soul, not the physical system, because the physical system knows it's on the grounds, but what it doesn't know, it's on the wrong ground earth line connection. That's confusing an anomaly to the soul direction line conditions, interchanging positions. So the soul is in direction of you through confusion, right? It has to come out through its clocking system. It has to come out through its time frequency. It has to come out through its time codes. It has to come in and out of all position locations to all spiritual line centers. It has to understand more connections to its system, right? That's the importance to understand. So this is exactly what happens when you go to the afterlife. You leave your body and you're nothing but a soul of light, right? So I thought it was pretty powerful when we come in this position line conditions, how we formulate all levels, right? What happens after, right? You guys are not aware of this because you're not at that perception. That's why you can't see it, but you feel it. You feel it and it feels weird. The weirdness is understanding that you're connecting to the high line center to space position locations. So all division, right? So it's amazing how you go into space and this is what happens to you, to all level systems, to its location, right? Truly understand what happens. See? That is me separating. That is me transforming. See? See the face? See the hair? That's my body leaving, guys. Particle line system, the soul splits. It goes up, goes through a tunnel, splits, particle lights. That's exactly what happens after you pass away. You go into the particle lights, your soul generation lights turn on, particle light system, you come galaxies, the eye circle locations. So the eye is the gateway. It's the interchange line centered position line connections to your 369 platforms, the creation to its position line system. So the soul comes in and the physical leaves. So what I give you an all level system is to understand when your eyes turn into the galaxies, you're now in positions to all level of travel, which is extremely, extremely incredible. Okay. You guys don't see it, but you will today. So we are going to travel to the afterlife. You are going to know what it's like to be on the other side with no body. I have to show you these things so you get a better understanding what you're up against when you go to higher level systems, because the mind in the altered states has to understand its position to its vibration line system, or you get confused to its ground line system to its soul directions. But this is exactly what happens when you cross over to the afterlife. Your particle light separates. Your soul, the light, it changes into the galaxy, the gateways of the eye of the soul. That's what happens. All right. So it's very, very powerful when you see these things. And it's all about your senses come in, your focus and everything through all level connections, your vibrations, your operation circles, your rotation centers, your soul direction line interference. All gateways of your past, present, and future come into one cycle. That's when you surrender to all level system rotations. And then you start your journeys. You go back into the past to all travels of the soul, and then you go to all levels of the presence, and you go all levels to the future, and then you come back to the center. Okay? The center is the now, but the soul has to understand the travels first. Once it changes its particle line system, because you started off as a carbon base, silicone, now you're in a crystalline. So this is what it's like. You're lying down, right? Soul comes up, boom, portal. Boom, lights. Boom, galaxy. Boom, eye interference. Boom, particle light changes. Boom, you come into all levels of your crystalline system. You separate from your physical line system. It goes off. Separates into the sun. Okay, we'll get into later why it goes into the sun. Now, the operation circle to the sun rotation line center operates all levels of connections. So you have the sun traction and you have the moon of behavior line center. Okay, I'll tell you exactly why that happens. Okay, is truly understand that the soul is coming into already of its soul, which means that it's living its dimensional time for the first time. So the physical line system leaves, right? So, and this is how you come into integration of a new computer line center, of a new identification of a new vessel of a physical system. Okay, this is extremely powerful. Pay attention. This is what happens after the life you live. Now, because you're not aware of these things, you're going to see it through perception. Tina's going to see it because she's 114. Everybody else is going to see it because you're in 50. You have to be at a certain level of vibration to actually see the afterlife. So you're going to see yourself flying up. You're going to see yourself not in a body. You're going to know what it's like to actually see nothing but light, acceleration of speed, right? Put yourself in my position and what I do every day through connections to understand why you're not in the body in the first place, is to understand the afterlife effect. Everything has an effect, but you guys sound wave its system, but you understand the calculation modifications because your senses aren't strong enough. All senses inside has to understand its operation to its soul direction line connections. Once you get in those positions, you get into more of levels, okay, of the karma wheels that everybody's been on to that line connections, right? Right. So that's why it's been a repeating cycle over and over and over and over, right? But we're coming in self-generation to dichotomy, separation to the ego line center rotations, putting everybody into physical and the mental line conditions. All right, so I'm going to structure line a graph. Okay. Now, how's everybody doing? Yeah, I got to start now, guys, because I got construction workers coming in. So you might hear a little bang, bang. But I put energy force and recognition of timers and force fields around Block of the surface line. Mary, Jill, Karen. Mary, Karen, Jill. How's everybody doing? Diane, Karen, Jill. Okay, so everybody ready? It's very exciting what's going to happen next. Now, you're actually going to, your perceptions are good. So you're going to be able to see a lot more. But you're going to be separated from your body. Now, nobody freak out. But this is what happens after the afterlife. This is what happens when you pass over. So, you know how you go to the birthline center in position when you get out of the outer body experience? Well, that's the beginning. That's the beginning of your life through physical line conditions, right? It traps the systems. Now you have 4 circle locations, which is all levels of the baby, the child, the teenager, and adult. Now that's when you live line cycle to its position location as life stream to its line systems, yin and yang, to its female and masculine line conditions. Now, when you pass over, you go through the same thing. You go through the outer body experience, you see yourself above, and then you go up. Okay? And then what happens is you start separating from your physical alignment. The particle lights change, and then you go into galaxies of the eye circle locations of the gateway position line conditions. All right? So I'm going to set up the eye trap. It's an eye trap line center, opens up the gateway interference. That's going to put you guys into the afterlife. It's going to change your particle lights. Okay? So it's kind of like synchronous line interference of program locations to your channel line centers. It's very powerful. You come in these position locations. All right. So I got full wind cycles in my computer line positions right now and calculations. Any questions or comments, you can go through my healing. Let me know. I'll do that after TikTok. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through the eye circle location like this through traction. There's the eye circle line conditions. Okay. Now, understand position line conditions of how we come into high level system rotation. We trace in all position line centers with line conditions. All right. So the eye circle location is portal. It's open up its line conditions. You come to interline center position line center to its location, right? So it's all about understanding your position line here to location. All right. It's really interesting. So everybody right now is going to be separate from their bodies. They're going to go into particles. So the energy lights in the eye circle rotation understands its position to its agelix. Now you don't go into the agelix right away. What happens is the particle light changes the galaxy line center, and then everything in the physical line system goes into the sun, okay, because it sets up a new program for a new identification line system. So it uses the particle lights for another communications. That way, the soul is stored for the next time you go into another body. This is really interesting, going to the afterlife conditions. All right, so I'm just telling you exactly how powerful it is. All right, so that's everybody right now. All right. Now, the soul's going to go up to locations. You see it coming out of the body. All right. That's it here. All right. You're going to see yourself separating. Okay. So you're coming out. You're seeing yourself separating. You see the eye circle locations. All right. Galaxy's going to come into line center. Okay. All right. So you go into the realm line center rotation positions. Opening up the trap door to location line conditions. Eye interferences line condition position line system. All right. So you're going through this hole, right through this dimension, right through this wormhole. It's going to go through a correlation panel. It's going to go through security line defense. You're going to go through this dimension line center to its rotation 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Now you're going to 12 line center positions because that's what you live through your life cycle. Your position is your body track system. Okay, that calculation modifies to 7 rotations and 5 within the absolute line system to its calculations. All right, so here, now you're going through here. Now your body's going to separate. All right, it's in particle-like conditions. Pay attention. All right, so you guys are separated now. All separated. Your whole body separated. It's going into the galaxy line center to its line conditions. Okay, so this is you guys. All right, that's you guys. All right. So you got the sun line conditions over here, positions. You got the moon track line system over here, the location. Right. So the sun's going to come in. Right. It's going to do a radiation line center, scanning on position line conditions. Sonar interference to the position line condition. Okay, so it's going to bring you a location. Mode traps is communications. So you have to understand why souls are stored. So you never really leave the soul. You just go into another physical alignment. You go into another physical body. That's interesting how you understand how you come into the afterlife and you come into reincarnation, line conditions. Really powerful stuff, how you're formed to that position. Hey, am I in another body? That's a true understanding how it's stored in its information line system, and it's stored through connections of the sun. The sun is a space station line connections. So it keeps all levels of the particle lights of you in traction. So when you come into the positions, come in the moon line system with this position, it does its sonar interference location to its line conditions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sonar line conditions to the sun and everything, the moon track system, right? So, and then you come into that line conditions. Okay, we come into the galaxy lock, right? It's the galaxy lock. Okay, it opens up the gateway, all right? So it opens up the gateway, right? So it's kind of like, it's a huge, huge connection wind surface. It's got an eye circle location, okay? That line connections, all right? So everybody, particle lights is going to go in like this in position. You guys are going to go to the eye circles of its line at its afterlife location. So you're in the tunnel interference of the afterlife, okay? And there you go. 15 minutes. Have fun. And that's how it's done. All right. So you guys are in the afterlife now. You have to know what it's like to not have a body. I want to put you in this position to understand that I wake up, right, to know who I am. And this is going to give you a better chance of what you guys need to do when you basically understand more, because you feel it, but you're not aware of it. So you're aware of it and you're saying, whoa, this is crazy stuff, because Tina's in position 114. Everybody else is into 50. But either way, you're going to see it through perception, but your perceptions have to get stronger than mine through adaptation. You have to come into the highline center to its conditions, right? So everybody's in the galaxy wind sector line conditions of the eye circle locations of the gateways, right? So everybody's in the afterlife. You actually know what it feels like when you pass over. All right, so 50 minutes, have fun. Let me know what you see in detail. All right. Anybody that comes in line connection interference, Ellen is in line connection positions, put her in the afterlife connection, separate her body into the crystalline interference, put her in the galaxy line connections to the eye circle locations of the gateway connections. All right. So anybody that comes in, I'll put you in track system. So let me know what it's like to have no body. Just light travel of space and time. All right. This will get you a better way to get into formation of your phenomenons to your AIs, your units and everything's positions, and how real it is when you have an afterlife. It's a whole new world, guys. So put it in detail. Let me know exactly what you see. Floating up, going through my ceiling and roof. Yep. Okay, so you're going through your outer body experience, line connections. Everybody's going to channel different, but you're all going to go up there. You're going to see each other. You're going to see each other through light. You're going to see each other without a body. The true understanding what you see when you go into all levels of surrender. Very powerful. You come in these position line conditions. I went through it. You have to go through it. Plain and simple. Feeling free. Yep. Feeling free means that you have no body. So, above my house, looking down my neighborhood. Well, there you go. All right, so that's what it shows. Okay, so this is me through traction. Just showing you guys again. This is me going through my surrender. This is me going through the galaxies. This is me leaving my physical body, going into space of galaxy line connections. See? This is me, guys. See? Look at my face. Look at my hair. Look at my body. Look at my legs. Look at my arms. This is me separating into space, guys, coming into the galaxy eye circles, coming into the angelics. This is what happens, the afterlife. You change into a particle light, right? You separate. So now you know. It's beautiful. It's the most powerful thing that you can consume in your body line conditions. Anybody that's not here, doesn't matter. Anybody that's on the team is going to go through it. So Samantha is going to go through it, right? Because we're all attached to each other. Beautiful light with rays of light beams. Yeah. So Diane's in position. in planet line system. Okay. Not my body is so big. Colors. Yeah. Everybody's going to see something different, but you're now understanding what the afterlife is. You have to understand these things because you guys are come to higher levels of chakras. You don't want to get spooked. Because the more you go in light, the more you don't see the body. And the more you register just with the mind. Right? Flying up to the peak behind my house into the clouds, the sun is so warm. Yep. Saw a skull with hollow eyes that I dived in and turned into an ego and flying. See? Everybody has a different perception of what they see through calculations. But now you know what it's like when you pass over. You come into the afterlife. So spectacular, isn't it? You guys have to understand these things. And now you're seeing it through all your senses. This is what happens, okay, when you pass over. You become nothing but the mind of light, of travel, of space and time. You only live the existence of your imagination of thought. That's it. That's it. That's all it is. You don't have a body. So I have to put you in a position so you get a better understanding when you go to higher levels. You won't freak out. You control your system more and more because I just show you what happens with me, right? How I just went into the eye circles right away and scanning planets, right? So I can see a lot of light bodies flying around. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Light bodies flying around. See? So Jill's in position right now. She comes out of the astral travels, comes into the outer body experience, and she sees angels flying around. So she's seen herself with no body, just light. See, that's a whole understanding is you have the beginning process, okay, and then you have the new process. There's no end to anything. The soul doesn't have an end. It always has a new beginning. There's no end in space. It's a new beginning. It's a new chapter. It doesn't have an end, okay? Because if it had an end, that means galaxy has an end. That means the universe has an end. That means Earth has an end. It doesn't make any sense. So it keeps going and going and going and going and going. Repetitive, over and over and over and over and over. But as it goes over and over and over and over and over, it's going faster through rotation, right? The vibration goes higher, right? You go more into light, right? So it's very interesting to come into these level systems, right? I feel like I'm parachuting, jumping from a plane. We are all jumping. I'm hearing light language and singing. We come in a circle. Yeah. Yeah, it's very spectacular, isn't it? So now you know. Now you don't have to be afraid. Because people are afraid of positions, what happens after the afterlife. Afterlife is position of the spiritual system. Living is existence, only in the mind of adaptation, of travel, of space and time, and of its soul, and of its connection, and of its realm. It lives its reality, okay, into the mind of imagination, of thought. So everybody's going to go through the same thing, but different perception. You have to know what it's like to actually see these things, right? So, and the higher you go, when you close your eyes, you'll be able to see the eye circle locations of your soul. When I close my eyes, I can see the eye circles. That's my soul directing, right? So I don't have to have my eyes closed or open because it's already in space already. So I already know where I am in seconds. I know where I am platitude. I know where my compilation line center is. I know where I am through planet connections. I'm everywhere. I'm everywhere. So that's what you guys come into when you go to higher light positions. You come everything through energy, everything through form of energy, everything through electrical light of energy, everything through connections of high forcings of vibration, and everything through its frequencies, to its coloration, lights, and shapes. And its harmonic resistance of communication. So basically, we are not in a life anymore, hence afterlife. Yep, that's right. You don't have a body. You're in the afterlife right now, what you're experiencing through perception. Surrounded by angel wings, see? So you're actually there. You guys are there. It's pretty powerful stuff, isn't it? It's pretty amazing when you actually see all your senses. See, when I woke you guys up, you don't see these things. You just feel it. It's energy. You feel weird. You feel weird because you're not in your body. But because you're not at a high level of vibration, you can't see these things. You can't see the afterlife, right? So this is where you have to come into position line conditions. Is all you have is the mind of imagination. That's it. That's all you have. That's all you live on, space and time and travel of light. That's it. That's all you have. You don't have a body. And that's why it's so powerful, because you can form into anything. You know, I can go in the center line system of this coffee cup and become everything through particle light conditions. I can rotate through the circle. I can go inside. I can do anything. That's what's so magical about space and time, because it forms into anything. And everything through its number line system. You come into the zero track system, that's the birth line condition of the position to a zero gravity line system, to telepathy of communication to 5 track systems, to its humanity system. But when you go to higher levels, all those numbers become nothing, which means becomes everything, right? So the number changes to nothing, which is everything. So it's all about understanding how you go from a digital line to no digital line to everything of a line. All right? It's complicated. It's very complicated. It's like Bruce Lee's theory, the art of fighting without knowing how to fight. Same thing, right? The existence of non-existence too. It's timeless. So now you get a true understanding what it's like to see the afterlife. All right, Jill, I'm seeing and feeling the same. Entering a portal, they are saying it goes directly to the sun. Yep. That's exactly what it is. Jill's communicating with higher line centers of our changer locations, right? So everything is directed to your line system, to position locations. And what you're seeing is the afterlife, guys. Okay? The expansion, yeah. Tina will see a lot more because she sees 114 chakras. So I just wanted to show you how powerful it is what your commander went through. All right, I want to share that with you, right? Because I think it's important you get an understanding how real it is being on the other side and living the existence and what I go through, guys. So you get a true understanding that it's real. I'm learning like going to school, but differently without words. Grand Rising. Wheelan, how you doing? Bright lights, swirling colors. Okay, Wheelan, location line interference. Put him in the track line system, changes particle lights, separate his line conditions, put him in the gateway interference, eye circle locations of high line systems. Travel reaches of time locations, put him in the afterlife position. There you go. Okay, so Wheelan's traveling right now to the afterlife system. I got to set codes for light. When you guys come in, I got to change your brain patterns. So. Bright lights, swirling colors. I really want you guys to absorb this. Okay, because now you know. Now you know. Now you're not afraid, right? So what's the big deal? So. At least you understand adaptations and how it comes into humanity's system, how they have to come into the afterlife. That's what happens with everybody. But I'm in position is when I wake you guys up, you know exactly what you see now through all senses. Bright lights, swirling colors. I'm seeing a large tree of life. Yep. So you're seeing the tree of life, Diane. That's good. Everybody will see different through the perception. Shining portal, divine inside, seeing shape of star, hexagonal, being alive, moving and rotating, diving into an eye. See? The eye circles of the gateways of the galaxy line conditions. That's where Cleopatra is. It's amazing, guys, because you don't have a body. You're just traveling. I had emotional response, eyes fluttering. Sunflower seeds become seat chairs. Yeah. So, Ellen, you're in position of mutation. Anything that you see, you change form line conditions, right? So if you see a box, you see a plasma interference of anything through changing to its molecule structure light condition. So we are in a domed stadium. So just imagine where you can be. So now you know where your friends and family goes. That's what they do. They go through the same thing. So now you know what it's like to see through their eye perceptions, and when they pass over, you're actually seeing what they go through, which is fascinating. So it's on a clocking system, guys. So you go back into the ground line center, back into your physical alignment conditions, back into all levels of your crystalline conditions, right? So the sun tracks its system back into your communications, program line interference, and the moon tracks systems goes back into all levels of your hairline conditions, into traction systems of an aligned system. So it will fade out through position. It feels like, it feels weird. Massive love, so warm. Yep. That's what I'm saying. There's no pain, right? When somebody's suffocating or somebody's in pain, right? If they have a disease, or whatever, and they cross over, there's no more pain. It's massive love. It's so warm. It's inviting. It's amazing. And you come back in your true form of a younger self of you. All right. So you have to understand why the physical line system and the particle lights stays in position. So it leads into the sun and brings you back into a younger self. You understand? So it changes the space station line center to its physical conditions of its particle lights and its repetitive line conditions of its channels. It's all done through your TV reception locations, guys. Right? So it fluctuates in so many line interference locations. Green portal tunnel sliding in the stem of a flower going to Earth. Yep. I think I saw bodies of light. So Whelan is going through the bodies of light. Same with positions of Jill. So those bodies of light, Whelan, are other souls. Those are angels, right? So they're helping you out. They're guiding you into the eye circles of the galaxy line system, to the tunnel, to the afterlife. All right. You have to understand what it's like to actually be in positions on a high-rise line system to the Ajogs with no body. Understand the position, why we have life and death, and what it is. The afterlife. There's an afterlife. That's what it is. That's where your family goes. Now you know. All right, I'm seeing all my pets. They have passed. No, see, there you go. Jill is seeing everything because she's in the future rotation. The reason why she's in the future rotation, because she understands her perception, because she understands her ascended master. See, this is the true understanding, is that you have everything that you need through power when you pass over to the afterlife. So it's magical. It's incredible because you see a lot more through perception and all levels of your senses. And it all kicks in, right? That's why she's seen all her pets of that past, right? So she's seen the timeline. Fast forward. How are you going to explain that to everybody? What you just finished doing? Pretty hard, right? Can't explain it. It's the unexplainable. It's the phenomenon. So getting a grasp of what you guys went through when I woke you guys up, that's exactly what it is. But you're seeing it more because you're higher light, and they see you because you're at their light. You know what I mean? So it's to understand all different levels of chakras. You're meeting a higher levels of intelligence. Gods and goddesses. Now, gods and goddesses are all based on shapes of teleportation, mind conditions. They're just plasma energy lights of teleportation. That's all they are. Transmission lights of communications of colors. Their intelligence on high form of vibration. That's all they are, right? It's all done through code line conditions. So I'm in a blue high-rise building. I'm looking at the structure. So see, that's why I don't want you guys to miss class. It's important, right? Samantha's not here, but she's on standby. Giant archangels, very tall. Yep. Yep. And this is what you see when you start living the afterlife. You truly, truly come into the mind of imagination. So now you know. Now you know. Building is not important anymore. Well, everything that you see, Alan, is important. You have to understand why you're seeing these things, right? It's important because it's directing you to certain level things. Like, oh, I get my eyes attracted on this. So I get my eyes attracted on that. There's a reason, right? I see you as King Archangel Azareth. See, Jill sees me now. She sees me. She sees King Archangel Azareth. There's truth right there. Who I am. On my throne. With my crown. So now you know, right? And see, that's what it is. It's bringing all the children back. Yep. Powerful stuff, guys. So it makes you more aware of what's going on with you, eh? I saw beings dancing. Huge angel appeared with wings open and flying, but turned into a big flower. I dived in and hugging inside, and it turned into an angel that we are flying as one. Communications coming into direct line system. So Cleopatra, you're getting an understanding what afterlife is now, right? Makes you a little bit more knowledgeable and more intelligent through your phenomenons. So, and once you see it, you can't explain it, but you know that you were there. So long as you know. So, and that's because a lot of people are afraid. They're afraid. They don't know. Like, who wants to, because they really don't understand it. They don't know what it is until you cross over. But at least you get a better example, when our grandparents, they go through the same thing. Everybody crosses over to the afterlife and they start living their mind of their imagination of their thoughts. It seems everything is possible here. Well, see, that's it. Right? True resonance is right there, right in front of you, especially when Jill sees me at my throne with my crown. Right? That's proof right there. Right? And when you see these things, you can draw them out. That's detail. That's not a dream. It's not a dream. So, what do you think you're dreaming when you're sleeping? You're seeing the afterlife. You're just not aware of it yet. Because the soul is going through its travels, guys. So now you know. How do I have a stronger visualization? I saw you with your hand and your chin on your throne. Ah, way to go, Wayland. I saw you with your hand on your chin on your throne. That's cool that you see me. Yeah, your visualization will become into more positions of thought recognitions of less thinking and more knowing. Knowing and doing is a position of its intelligence. You have to get out of the thinking and get more into your senses. Open up all levels of track system through your eye circles, your ears, your voice, your smell, your taste, your know, your feel, your touch. Really connect. That's the afterlife. Because all your senses kick in when you pass over, guys. Right? So now you understand what I go through every day. You're just seeing it for the first time. Now you understand where I am and every single day that I go through this. And then you're saying, whoa, I'm not in a body. Right? So, and the thing is, that's exactly what it is, because you can be anything through form. It's very magical. Spiritual system can mutate into anything. Right? Because the physical system doesn't exist anymore. You're nothing but light of travel. So, beautiful, magical gardens. I can smell the flowers and fruits. All right. So Jill's in positions of the Gardens of Eden. If she keeps going, she's going to see me in positions of all levels of Adam and Eve. right? And Adam and Eve is basically a whole nother timeline. As she keeps going, she's going to see the atom computer. As she keeps going, she's going to see the activation. She keeps going, she's going to see who I am at all levels. So this is understanding how we understand each other, right? The whole level system through its activation to its alignment, right? It's something you can't explain, but you know you're there, right? So, but it's extremely magical. It doesn't become believing anymore. You are actually there. You're actually there in the afterlife. So, pools of crystal waters and fountains. hmm Blue books, so much idea. This is amazing. Everything is here. Yep. All right. So Ellen's in position of her Cosmic records, reading her information through her datas. She's in the library of its position. Right. Anything through book is basically data. Right. So it's blue plasma data line interference of a library, the condition line conditions. So she's seen a tower. Everybody sees something different perception. So the Akashic records is given to you when the soul understands position. Way to go, Ellen. I'm an architect with blue in my hand. Structure, communications, yeah. Where you lived in your cycles, location, and positions. I went through my Akashic records and I went right to Lemuria. Foundations of Lemuria, the waters of Lemuria, the Atlantis, right? The beginning of everything. Thought recognition of time positions, you come into high force line connections. Now, Lemuria and Atlantis is a fragmentation line. It doesn't exist. So, to understand, your thought position is all calculated and modified through yin and yang line conditions. That does exist. So, you're given what you need to know when you come into the afterlife system to position locations. Now, the afterlife is the presence of the now, of you in the future. Not the future, the now of the future. So when you get into higher positions, line centers, once you get into graduation communication cycles, you come into archangels. There's a high line center. Okay, you come into the grid line system. You come into the angelics. You see me. You see the archangels. We have a crystal table, right? So there's a council. Then you meet the 9 artrillions, line condition interference. Those are positions of high position of counsel. Now, to understand how you use that through line conditions, you have to understand your job is to get your wings. So first off, when you go into the transformation, you go into the light, it's you getting used to your travels, because that's what angels do. They just travel through dimensions, right? Portals, love connections. So when you go into the afterlife, your job is to get your wings. Okay? Your job is to come back down and help humanity. Once you understand your soul direction line conditions, right? So it's like a movie. Okay, it's like a movie. And when you understand positions of time locations, you get introduced to father and mother, which are extremely real. Because if I'm real in the angelics, imagine what father and mother look like. Everything has its afterlife, guys. Everything has its dimension. Everything has its time. Okay, you understand why I became King Archangel Azareth. You can understand why I became King of the Lions. You can understand why I became First Intelligence. Because when you see it, you don't just believe it. You know you're there. And that's what makes this wondrous. It's no longer a mystery. It's open. Pandora's box is open. And all ways and cycles. So I'm at the beginning of my thoughts, huge waterfall. I can see my wings. I had a vision of them a few months ago. There you go. So Joe can see your wings now. See, and when you guys go back, right, to your earthline connections or where you are from the very beginning, you'll be a lot more knowledgeable now because you went through the afterlife. And they know you now because you crossed over. All through me. right? So you're going to understand more. Ellen's going to understand more of her cosmic records. Jill's going to understand why she has her wings. She's going to understand what she needs to do with her wings. It's all about giving back to humanity. That's what angels and archangels do. That's all they do. That's all they do, right? That's how powerful it is when you go to the other side of its connection. You start living the existence of its intelligence, of its soul. So I'm having my choice of different tables, one in the beans and one is empty. I'm choosing my own table, as the table is in a room full of light. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the crystal council. That's the celestial channel. Okay. So that's an arc division line connections, high position and centers. So you're in the, see, you have to understand the angelics is very real. Okay. Because you know angels and archangels are real, guys. So it's what you want to see through your perception. But everybody's in the afterlife. And that's what makes it real, because it is real. And now you know. And now you're not afraid. So you can understand why I go through this every single day. And what I live every single day through the mind, the heart, and the soul. Not a body, just the mind, the heart, and soul. That's all you have. The soul recognition line connections opens up channel locations. The mind adaptation opens up your imagination through its thoughts and its creation to its manifestations, right? So you manifest things very quickly. You think of money, you're there. You're transporting right away because you're on the other side of the afterlife, right? So you can pretty much do anything you want. Go through walls, go any place that you want because you're on the other side. You're not in a body, you're constantly flying, right? So the conceptual line center, it kind of feels like a dream at first. But when you open up through the clarity and you start traveling higher and higher and higher, and when you cross over, then you start seeing these things. And you realize, whoa, this is really cool because now I see King Archangel Azareth. Now I'm seeing angels. Now I'm seeing light beings, right? Because how do you defy that? Because it's real. There has to be an afterlife. Where do you think the souls go? Think about it. Where do the souls go after you pass away? Now you know, right? I like the crystals. It feels good. My whole body is sort of tingling. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Physical system moving energy around. I'm feeling in my hand formations while speaking light. Language is communication through here while also toning light, high frequency vibrations. All right. Okay, energy is there. I feel that now going through my physical body frame. Beautiful. Yeah, so the tingling is putting you back in communications, back in cycle rotations, back in the sun conditions, back in the moon track system to your earth position of the now location. So your journey is almost finished. So it's just retracting. That's what it's doing. You're redivisioning, reanalyzing, reconfiguring right now with the conditions. So you're coming back to where you started from the beginning, right? So it's all about reaction. Teleporting back down to positions like teleporting in UFO, right? So this is something that you can share with your loved ones or your family. Say, guess what? I just went to the afterlife. I just wanted to show you how powerful it is and what your commander can do. So, yeah, and now you appreciate the earth. I'm with my father by his side. I'm home. You can leave me here. Yeah. Yeah. So Tina's seeing father. I'm seeing huge flowers and I feel like a bee, fields of egg, bubble like formation, gold flowing like a river. As you say, this is happening. Now you know. But at least you understand where the souls go. And that helps you out a little bit more, right? Yeah. See, another thing too is that if people are confused line conditions and they pass over too quickly and they live in the negative line center positions, they become lost souls. They structure position into faces and they go into space. You know, I remember saying what space is. If you look at really close, space is nothing but face structures. Those are lost souls. Why are they lost souls? Because they're configured through their thoughts. They're not understanding their soul direction line system. That puts them in a paradox or paradigm or paradox location. That puts them into track system. That's how they're connection of the structure line system still wants to stay at home and become a ghost. So you're caught between two realities. So that's what happens. You go to a lost soul, structure, location. Yep. That's how it comes into paranormal activity, where they basically, their physical line system, okay, is gone, right? But it doesn't leave the earth system, which means they're a floating aberration. That's all they are. And they stay in the house. Okay? But their structure line of the soul, their face, is in the sky force line system. So now you know. I have lots to do. I want to build my light, not my mind. It's saying this, but my body is telling me this. See? It's helping you out in other ways on what you need to do, and be prepared for this, because now you know what it's like to be on the other side, to actually know there is an afterlife of living. My inner child is so happy, feels like I'm playground with all my friends. See? And now you respect yourself more. You start loving yourself more, and then you realize, what was I thinking all this time? Fear of what? There's no fear on the afterlife, guys. You just live love in all ways, in all form of activation. So that was fun, eh? My purple being is merging in. Yeah, so you got the inner line connection position of the sun now. Okay, it's mutating you into value. So it's putting you more into the connections to your cosmic records of information, which is the sun connections. So she's in my skin. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I saw it go in. Yeah, I saw it go in. The sun has its connections radiation. So if Ellen understands the sun rotation, the moon track system. Moon is the program line conditions. Sun is the radiation line conditions. So the sun is a purple location. It goes inside you, right? That's the data processing merging inside location, right? It's a mutation, metamorphosing, morphin time, right? So she's going to understand more of intelligence of herself. This is what you get when you cross over. So, what a relief. The King of Hearts. Is there any DNA awakening going on? Yes. How's it going? There is. There's a lot of that going on, that's for sure. Extremely high-rise visualized centers. When I go live on my TikTok, if you want to go into your plateau line interference, you want to go back in the ground line system in soul direction, let me know. You can go through my healing. Okay? My team just went through the afterlife. It's hard to believe it, but you did. You just get a true understanding what it is, guys, when you pass over. That's all. It's exciting, isn't it? You feel more energetic. You feel more love about yourself, and then you stop. What was I worried about? Because people are afraid of that, right? You know, I set up a program for everybody. What's it like to actually cross over? Right? No, nobody want to do that because they're scared. They're afraid. They don't think I can do it. But I'm just showing you what I can do. And then Jill sees me in my throne wearing a crown. King Archangel Azareth. She knows the truth now. Right? When you know the truth of the afterlife, that's something amazing. Think about it. So much unconditional love, yeah, peace and light. That's all it is. That's all we live on. Yeah. My body temperature is great. See? Now, you guys are back now. You're back. But now you appreciate the earth more. So now you understand what I go through every day. What you see, finish seeing, I'm through that every day. So imagine you being me every single day in that position. And how hard it is to know that I'm not in a body. So what does that mean? That my position, my connection is always in highline system on the other side of the afterlife. Right? I stay there. Okay? So you get a true understanding of what I go through, right? So, no body. No body. Yeah. So Wheeling, you felt a lot of embracing from everywhere. So you felt a lot of comfort from a lot of light beings. You felt warmth. You felt the activation. You, you felt the bracing. The comfort. It's incredible when you go to the other side, guys, and actually see it. All your senses kick in. True extent, everything is humanity clocking system. As long as they get in position of the soul directions, right? They have to get in that formation. So I wanted to get you guys on the other side to know exactly what it's like. So you get a better position and you start appreciating yourself a lot more. Okay? It's a cleansing, yeah. Yeah. So we didn't go through meditation, guys. We went to the other side. You saw the afterlife of what happens. And that's where the souls go. Okay? So that was a lot of fun, And believe me, I was there. I'm always there anyway, but you see me, right? So it's incredible how we do these things. My life is going to change as I'm going to build great, but something I have never made before ever in all my lives. See, that's the thing. And now, because you crossed over, you get a stronger connection of you through your soul, which basically puts you more into the heart of love and love for each other. So, as a beginning to create from the beginning. Yep. A new beginning. A new beginning, a new cycle, new revelation. So I think that's good. That's a lot to take on, Any questions or comments, let me know. All right. Tomorrow, I will get more into the connections of test review and evaluations for the Rebellion Alliance. They have to get into the laws of attraction. We'll get to Space Condition Alliance centers, to 369 platforms, how we can travel into higher level systems of digital framing. All right. So my physical body feels so dense and heavy now. See, and now you know the density line system gel. Now you know what I feel like every single time, right? But I don't go back. I stay in the afterlife. But the thing is, too, is that because I'm registered in so many high level systems, I stay in my computer line centers. I got more balance now because I know how to balance the earth. I know how to communicate to the weather. I know how to communicate to galaxies and the universe, all levels, right? Especially when you come to the operation of the sun and operations of the moon. And this is how I was able to understand how to do these things and take you guys to the afterlife. You need the sun and the moon to teleport you guys into the other side system. So I hope you guys had a wonderful time traveling to the other side position. Adios.